Welcome again to Reflections. It's another day. Yesterday we looked at the fact that we've been around this mountain for too long because time flies. You know, our theme for our anniversary has been time flies. Time flies, and therefore we must get up and get going, as I said to us yesterday. The Lord actually said to the children of Israel, he said, you have been around this mountain for too long, you need to get moving. And he said to them, he gave them instructions. After God told them that they needed to get moving, he gave them instructions on what to do and what not to do. When we begin to move, I want to assure you that God will lead you. God will lead you. Don't fret. Don't be anxious. Don't worry. Don't be fearful. Fear has torment. Perfect love casts out fear. That was part of our prayer last Friday. Be confident in the love of God for you. When God says step out, when God says begin to move, just run after him like a little child. You know, at home, sometimes when we want to go out and the child has been home for a long time, the minute he sees you pick up the car keys, that child is going to run after you. They are just going to hold on to, they will hold on to you and say, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. That's how we need to be with God now. He said, get moving. He said, we've been around the mountain for too long. And when God says, begin to move, he's already going ahead of us. And if he's in front of you and you are following after him, there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. Just run after him. Because believe me, when God begins to take strides, his strides are long. Very long. And you must run to catch up with him. And can you imagine how fast God will get to where he's going? It means that you are going to get to where you are going faster than you thought. Because as you run after him, he will make sure you catch up with him. He will. He will. He will. He will give you that supernatural empowerment to catch up with him, to keep up with him. Don't relax where you are anymore. It's time to get moving. I said to us, he will give us step-by-step instructions. In Deuteronomy 2, verse 4, he says, and command the people, you are about to pass through the territory of your brothers, the people of Seir, of Esau, who live in Seir, and they will be afraid of you. You know, many of the things you are afraid of is really afraid of you. The situation that you are so scared about is scared about you because when they look up, they see who is going in front of you. And they know that once that person approaches them, they have to give way. God said to the children of Israel, he said, leave the mountain, begin to move forward. They had been afraid of the enemies. And God said, you just follow after me. I'll take care of all the enemies. God will take care of all the challenges. Just follow him. Follow him. He says he will put your fear in the hearts of your enemies. Every obstacle, every hindrance. He will put, when you appear, every situation knows that it must give way because of the person you are following. And who puts obstacles in our way anyway? You know already who it is. Whatever situation or circumstance they may be, it's the devil who creates them to hinder us, to obstruct us, to delay us, to stop us, to intimidate us, to discourage us. But remember what I said to you? God is going ahead of you. You go with him. You just follow him. And believe me, every such situation will cave in before you. It doesn't matter what it is. Every contrary situation caves in the face of the word of God that is spoken with faith. Great things are on the way for you. Yeah, great things. This mountain, you've circled it for too long. Let's begin to move. You know those things that have been bubbling up in your heart that you have been afraid to step out to do? Just go ahead. He's right there with you. He's right there with you. And every resource you need will be provided. It's already provided for. As you go along the way, every step you take, when it's time for water, water will be given to you. As you step forward, when it's time for food, food will be given to you. As you step forward, when it's time for shelter, shelter will be given to you. At every point of the way, there is provision. You know how when you are journeying here in the US, when we are traveling on the highway, there are rest stops. At those rest stops, there are things that you can get. You can relax, you can sit down, you can get something to eat, you can get something to drink. And those rest stops are spaced along the highway so that by the time you travel a couple miles, you know, there will be somewhere where you can rest and get something you need and refresh yourself and use the restroom if you need to. It's the same in your journey of life. God has provided rest stops along the way. You will not know the rest stops He has provided unless you are moving. If you stay stationary, the rest stop does not come to meet you. You have to keep moving. And at every point, when it's time, your rest stop will appear, your provision will be supplied, and you carry on again. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. You are going somewhere. We are going somewhere together. I told you. You are my assignment. You are my assignment. And your testimony is the next I'm going to hear. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's healing, if it's deliverance, if it's provision, if it's promotion, if it's help, whatever it may be, if it is fruitfulness, if it is an end to loneliness, whatever your need may be, just let's keep moving with Him because He has provided rest stops for us along the way. And it's Fumi Obilano, Reflections.